Let us introduce ourselves to the study of Indian poetics. Like all the ancient literatures, Indian literature has a history of thousands of years. It dates back to 1500 to 1200 BCE. At that time, the hymns of the first Veda, Rig Veda, were composed. And we have good reason to believe that the study of Indian literature must have started in this Vedic period. That is, a period more than 3000 years ago, nearly about 4000 years from today. In the millennium after 1000 before the Common Era, three literatures flourished in India. These were written in the languages Sanskrit, Pali, and Tamil. After the 9th century Common Era, the regional languages of India developed, and along with this development, various literary traditions were established in Kannada, Telugu, Marathi, Odia, Bengali, Hindi, Urdu, the regional languages. When we come to poetics as a subject of study, we should understand that poetics as a branch of knowledge covers theories concerned about two things. One is the properties of literature and other is forms of literature. That is, poetics covers the various forms like drama, story, ballad, all the forms that were existing in Indian literature. And along with the forms, it studies the properties of this literature. Poetics addresses the question about nature of literary creativity. When a person produces or creates a literary text, what is the process? What is the nature of this process? Another thing is, poetics addresses the question about literary meaning. When a literary text is created, there is definitely a meaning addressed by the creator, produced by the creator, and the reader must understand this meaning. So, poetics deals with the nature of literary creativity and the possibilities of literary meaning. We can never be sure about this literary meaning, but we can have an idea about the possible literary meaning, and we can also study the nature of literary creativity, which is called as pratibha in Indian poetics. Poetics studies the relationship of a literary work with its author, with its readers, and the context of the literary work. So, on one side of the text, we have the author who conveys the meaning through the text to the readers, and in order to understand the meaning, many times we are needed to know the context. A literary work does not exist in isolation. It always exists in a certain context. So when we are studying Indian poetics, we must keep in mind that this is a branch of knowledge which developed thousands of years ago. These theories originated in India in ancient times, and from the records, the written texts that are available to us today, we can have access to this very, very rich tradition of Indian poetics, which is spread over the span of nearly 2000 years, because the works of Indian poetics extant today start from the text which was created 2000 years ago. So when a student studies Indian poetics, the student is looking at a span of more than 2000 years, a span of nearly 3 to 4000 years of literary tradition, a contribution made by hundreds of literary scholars, and a study of this branch of knowledge, which is known as Indian poetics or Indian aesthetics, and also by several other names. This study will yield to a deeper knowledge about the interpretation of literary texts to the students.